Welcome, riding buddies. Have you ever had that beautiful restoration that you've been working on for the last 20 years and you're down to that last little component, mainly something like a chain guide, maybe a throttle tube, maybe an inlet manifold, and you can't find it? Mate, I've got a solution just for you. Before we get underway though, make sure you've subscribed to John's Motorcycle Mania. It is a proven fact that subscribing to John's Motorcycle Mania will help you find all those unobtainable bits. Brad Lewis, welcome Bradbury. Now Brad builds all these little weird things that you just can't find and we all need. So Bradbury, just run us through a couple of little things. We've got a few bits up here. Probably one of your coolest bits I really like. Rear chain guide. That one's very specific. What's that one for?
Yeah, that's your Suzuki RM 400 250 N and T model with reversible lower wear insert and reversible upper in a harder compound. So the cheek plates are a colourable option. You can have yellow, red for your motocross, Fox, Suzuki's, that sort of thing. The wear inserts are typically black.
Brad does these in all sorts of bikes, especially KTM.
Yes.
Because he's a bit of a KTM nut. Brad's been making all sorts of different rear chain guides for all bikes, and 99.9% of the time, they're much better than the original spec ones, aren't they? Because you've upgraded the aluminium, usually thicker aluminium, but also too, as you just said, replaceable inserts where when you had the original ones,
one piece typically.
Yeah, and you couldn't do anything with them. Wear it out, throw it away.
Yeah.
Yours, you wear the bottom piece out, buy a new bit, put it in there, bolt it back together. Yeah. I've actually got one of these for my 86 250 MX KTM.
Yes, you have. Yes.
And it perfect, absolutely perfect. I haven't been able to try it out yet, but it fits in there beautifully, so that's the main thing. All different inlet manifolds, and they are very flexible, so they're not rigid, they're not hard. Some pretty cool stuff with 3D printing. This is all 3D printed stuff.
Yep. And laser cut stainless plates.
Yeah, so everything's laser cut. Start out with a genuine original one. Obviously it's probably cracked or something anyway, and you just fix it up, copy it,
replicate it,
and then go and
improve it.
Improvements. Yeah, do a few little mods to make it even better than what they were originally. What sort of range are you doing with the inlet manifolds now? You got obviously CR125 ones, I know that, and KTMs.
And the Elsinore 250 to take the original Kaiheen and the Maikuni, two different manifolds there. Then we pretty much got a lot of the Hondas on the way. We've got pretty much every KTM that we need from 74 right through to, let's say the 550s of about 96. All the 250s, 175s, 400s, 495s, 420s, 390s, all of those. We've got a fair few Kawasaki ones.
That's actually Kawasaki one there.
That's a KX250 of about 92, 93, 94, somewhere in there. It was off a 92, KX250, so KDX250. Probably fits KX500 as well, probably, I don't know. That's to take the original Maikuni, but we can adapt it to do a 39 Kaiheen spigot, no drama at all. Most of the manifolds I do, in fact, as soon as I have a manifold done to OEM carburation, I'll do a change to set up for other popular carburetors, shall we say?
Yeah. Well, my little Elsinore one, you got that. I gave you the original key end to go with it.
Yes.
You copied that.
Yes.
Made it fit that, and then you've modified it.
Yes.
To fit. What would you say?
Yeah, three versions. So dead replacement inlet manifold, and then 32, 34 Maikuni. And then also for the flat track boys, I've got a 36, 38 mm Maikuni version for it as well.
Yeah, if you're running alcohol and dirt track.
This is a fuel and oil resistant rubber, by the way, and it's also UV stabilised. They're significantly easier to fit on the bike and put the carburetor back into than what you've got now. Put it that way.
No, and they work. That's the most important thing, is they actually work.
So the idea of the stainless plate is that 6mm stainless will not deflect. It will stay dead straight. So your chance of an air leak, once that compresses, is zero. Absolute zero. And then we add the 6mm of the rubber on the front here. I don't know if you can pick that up, Aaron, or not, but without that 6mm of rubber there, you've got a dirt and mud catcher at the bottom here. And so not only does it make it stronger as far as the bounce and the tear, it actually looks quite physically.
Yeah, they come up really nice.
It's terribly appealing.
Yeah.
Looks wise. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then of course should fail, you only need to buy the half. You don't need to buy the other half. The idea was that I didn't really want to try and bond the new rubber to the plate like your original manufacturers did. I wanted to come up with some other way, but I needed a good clamp. I needed a good airtight seal, and that was what I came
It
up
works
with.
perfect. So your front sliders, once again, just all done with your 3D printer. What do you...
That's okay. That's a Honda XLXR 250, 500, even 350s. They originally have a little tapered bizzo there where they clamp onto the swing arm. Would be terrible fragile. The idea is we make it back to a flat base and we put a nice little aluminium tab there so it just squeezes down and...
Yeah, and this is the thing that I'm finding. I've been through his boxes in there and I've had a look at a lot of different parts that he's 3D printing in there. And you're not just replicating the original one.
Trying to make it better.
Yeah, you'll take the original for the right size, then go, okay, how can we improve on this?
Yes.
And you're making it a lot better than what the original one was. Like so, and obviously these are best for guys like race bikes. If you want that
Museum resto,
yeah,
we can do that.
yeah, you can do it. But what you're doing is you're really
It's not really my target market. That's right.
Yeah, this is really for the guys that want to keep your bike on the track. Then also something...
Air boots.
Yeah, something so simple. Your air boot from your airbox to the back of the carburetor. Look at that. 3D printed. Unbelievable. Nice and flexible. That one's nothing special. It's just a straight out thing. But you can make all your...
That's a KTM LC4 400, 600.
Yep.
Yeah, you can't get them anymore and we needed one. So guess what?
Make one.
We made one. But about 7 years ago, we decided we'd go away from the urethane and adapt the 3D printing idea, and that let the door open to be able to do
many other things.
Your 4 Japanese brands, as well as many KTM stocks that we had. That led into other Euro brands. So now we have Huskies and Bull Tacos and Montesas, and
obviously
that's your Gunner Gasser.
Obviously you didn't make that. That's just a Gunner Gasser.
Yeah, Gunner Gasser replica. Yep.
Yep. But what do we got here?
Well, that's actually the tube that you can't buy separate.
You break the tube. You've got to go and buy a new control.
Yeah.
Well, you just buy a tube.
$20, $25 tube. Yeah, I'm making them open end so you can put your bark busters. Actually doing the Magura 310 gear drive throttle tube right. One after that is the early Magura trapdoor from the...
Yep.
Yeah, what they call it, 307, I think it is, Magura 307, the steel plate, they call it a trapdoor.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll do the throttle tube for that. It's the same deal, it's the same old problem.
Just around the other side of this little bull taco here. Another thing that Brad's also doing is ignition systems. So tell us about the ignition systems you're doing.
Well, need-based again. We had problems with a lot of our KTMs needing a decent flywheel-weighted external system. Younger brother Darryl come up with the idea of basically using some modern road-going 12-volt, good output, super-duper spark system where we use the flywheel, we take the boss out of the centre, we CNC machine up our own new boss to suit whatever crankshaft we like, and the same for the stator. We CNC mill up a new stator mount to suit whatever stator we decided. I've got 3 or 4 different stator sizes depending on the hole size in the middle, like crankshaft size. So Bull Tacos and the Husky Large, that Montesa there, they run a different stator and flywheel combo, but you know, the idea is you're basically using an existing stator, an existing flywheel goes with it, and you're machining new bits to make it fit anything. They are trigger fire ignition, so you need to be able to hold a trigger still somehow. So we laser cut a 3mm plate that holds the trigger in place. You can set your air gap. It's on slots, so you set your air gap once you get it all set up.
And away you go.
And away we go. So this one's actually, we already had the Bull Taco kit in works, and then this Montesa's turned up and we looked at it, and it needs the same stator mount with a slight alteration of new bolt holes to hold it down. So the new stator plate that's in the works will take Husky Large, Bull Taco and Montesa.
Yeah, so you got basically everything covered there, really.
Got all the Euro bands pretty much covered except for Osser and CZ. But they're 12 volt and they're you can put a lighting rectifier on them to bring them back to DC 12 volt. Super duper spark. You don't listen. You don't look for spark anymore. You just give it a kick and you can hear it go crack. Like it's astounding.
Pricing's really cheap. I know you're throwing price around age ago, but also too,
you can buy them separately as well.
Yeah, and that was what I was about to say is you can buy, oh, I just need a new pickup call. I've got your system. I need a new pickup. Brad just sends a pickup. There you go. Yeah, you don't have to buy start again.
Yeah, you can wire it in. You can buy the flywheel and the stator as a set, which is what I do. But you can buy the stator later on its own. You can buy the CDL and the top coil later on their own. The little rectifier you can buy on its own. You can even buy the trigger on its own.
Yeah, so like you've got...
So in some cases, we need to 3D print a whole new ignition cover with the hump to clear the trigger. A lot of the Euro bikes had tight fitting round covers.
Yep.
And there's no room in that original cover for the trigger.
Somebody can ring up and they go, Brad, I got a 78 MC5 250 KDM.
Components off the shelf. Yep.
I need an ignition. You just go,
yep.
and
it's from the cases out, basically. You pull everything off, take your flywheel key out as well. So we're using the taper to grab the boss. You give it a bump with your hand or a rubber hammer and it grabs, and you can actually turn the engine with it without even the nut and the bolt on there.
Yeah, if you've got that old bike and you need plastic bits, rubber bits, ignition bits, you can look Brad up. What I'll do is down in the comment section down below, I'll throw Brad's website in there. Check it out. There's lots of stuff there. If you can't find what you want, send him an email, because if you don't have it or you don't have a template to make it from, you can work with your customers.
That's what we do. Yeah. The website is always a bit behind. I'm always easily 3 or 4 months in front. It's a work in progress. At some point in the future, it'll all line up, but
might catch up to it.
Probably not though, from the ability to dump the stuff on there. But yeah, by all means, if you think you found the right place and you can't see what you're looking for,
send an email and
firing off an email.
Yeah, if you don't have it, they can send you. They've got a manifold off something you don't have. They can send you a damaged manifold.
Yeah,
you'll patch it up, make it where it's a template.
What we need is the bolt pattern and your angles, your profiles. Yeah, that's the basic shape.
Yeah, you don't need to worry about cracks or the fact that the rubber bit's no longer attached to the metal bit or anything like that. You just work from there.
Yeah. What I like to do too, I like the idea of dragging customers with me. So I like to involve them in the development. Yeah, like for example, if I know that boot already exists, but let's say I had a bull taco guy wanted that inlet manifold boot there, and I didn't have it. I usually work on the idea of first in, first one gets for free, because he's actually been my prototype fitter. I haven't got the bike here.
Yep. Yeah. Send it back to them, and not only do they get a manifold, but they'll get a free manifold.
Yeah. The gentleman in Victoria with the Mugen CR125 was a classic case in point.
Beautiful.
He emailed me and he said, look, you can buy the cylinders, you can buy the pipes and your pistons and everything, but he said you cannot buy that inlet manifold because it's a 250 reed cage bolt pattern with a small spigot for the smaller carburetor, and he said it just doesn't exist. And I said, have you got something we can work off? He said, yeah, I'll put it in the post. He put it in the post. I made him a replica. I put it in the post and sent it back to him for free, which is what I do. First one in gets the free one. With no fitting instructions, no nothing, just put it in the post. He emailed me back about a week later and he says, the fit is gorgeous. He said, the carburetor slips in, the angles to the airbox. He said, it's just dead on the money. He said, I started the bike. I haven't had it started for like 30 years. Rode around the backyard, seems to idle down, so it's not air leaking.
Yep.
Put it into production, it's perfect. It's nice that they feel like they're a part of something.
Yeah.
So it works both ways. It works good for me, it works good for them.
Good way of building what you've got.
Yeah, and as I say, then you can replicate it really easily once you've made number one. You can have 2 or 3 there in a box. Put in the post.
Yeah.
Post worldwide.
We've pretty much covered what Brad does
and why.
So make sure you've subscribed to John's Motorcycle Mania. Check out my other videos that we have done. I've got a host of other videos coming up. We're going to be talking with Brad a bit more about a couple of his bikes. There's a few of his bikes that we're going to do videos on as well. So make sure you check them out. And we will catch you next time.